Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at Kim Forster Gallery, and I am here with this rep from the gallery, and she's going to tell us about the fabulous art that is being showcased right here in this wonderful gallery. Tell my audience, who is the artist that's participating?
The artist is named Moonbom, and he's a Korean artist. He lives in Seoul.
Can you tell us a little bit about the gallery?
Yeah, well, I own the gallery.
So you're the gallery owner. How fabulous is that? Well, tell me, how long have you had this gallery?
I've had it for 25 years.
Wow, and I'm sure you've shown many, many famous artists here. Can you tell us some of the more famous artists that have shown their work here at the gallery?
An artist named Kwon Young Chun. Also, this artist is particularly famous that you're seeing, particularly in Korea. So he paints with his hands. He doesn't use brushes.
Well, he did a spectacular job. Can you tell my audience how many paintings we're looking at here in the gallery?
You're looking at about 8 paintings. And these paintings were done over a period of time of 20 years.
20 years. These are gorgeous pieces of art, absolutely gorgeous. Now, are you going to be participating in Art Basel next week?
No, I'm not going to be, but I have been doing it in the past. I just chose not to this year.
Where did this love of art come from? Did you study art?
I studied art, at Sarah Lawrence College. And my mother was an artist, and my grandmother was an artist, so it's sort of in my...
It's in your DNA, darling. It's in your DNA. I want you to tell my audience where we can go to find out more information about the gallery. What is the website?
It's www.kimfostergallery.com.
Kim, thank you so much. Give me a kiss. And we'll be back in a moment, darlings, with more interviews right here in Manhattan, in the Chelsea district. Oh, it's all about art. Keep watching. Pink Champagne Kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Loretta Howard Art Gallery in the Chelsea area of New York, and it's all about the art in this beautiful golden exhibit. And Loretta, who is the gallery owner, is going to explain to my audience what we are looking at. These are beautiful pieces of art. Tell us what we're looking at.
You're looking at the work of Stephen Antonakis. It's an estate that we represent. And Stephen branches 2 worlds. So he was Greek-American, and his Greek roots and his interest in chapels and Greek icons that were gilded are present, as well as being what we'd say a modernist. So he was someone who was also involved in the New York School minimalist movement. So what we see is both his history and his cultural roots as a Greek and as a New York modernist coming together in this work. So he's using gold, which is a traditional material that you would have used in Byzantium, and crumpling it, which is a modernist concept.
It almost reminds me of the Grecian, when they used to wear the Grecian crowns around their head. It inspires me when I see all of this gold. I think of the Greek gods wearing the Grecian crown. Am I right about that?
All of those associations are valid, yeah. I think he's probably looking a little bit more at icon paintings, which were very small panels that were gilded, and they were probably more about this size, and they would be, revered.
Loretta, tell my audience, how many pieces are we looking at right now in this room?
Ooh, well, I think it's about a dozen.
About 12 pieces. Mm-hmm. Well, they're all gorgeous. Absolutely. The whole exhibit is just beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Tell my audience, where can we learn more information about this artist and about your gallery? Do you have a website?
Yes, there's a website. It's lorettahowardgallery.com, and there is lots of information on the website. So you will find an exhibition catalog with all the pieces and an essay by Robert Madison, a scholar who has done one of Stephen's retrospectives, as well as, bio and press release and all of that good stuff on the website.
Now, are you going to participate in Art Basel this year?
No, I'm going to go visit, but I'm not showing, not this year.
Same here. I usually do go. In fact, I love Art Basel, but this year I'm renovating my kitchen. Well, Loretta, it was such a pleasure to talk to you, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Lovely.
And we'll be back in a moment with more celebrities, more interviews, and more artists right here at Cognac's Corner Magazine. Keep watching. Big champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Thomas Erben Art Gallery right here on, I believe it's 20th Street.
26th Street.
26th Street.
Right
in the heart of Chelsea. This is the biggest art scene right here in Manhattan, and this fabulous gallery owner is going to tell us about this art show today that we're seeing, all these magnificent pieces of art. Tell my audience about this show. What is this all about?
Well, it's actually the artist's third exhibition with the gallery. Her name is Elaine Stocky. She's Canadian, but she lives currently in Los Angeles. She's now approximately 40 years old. I discovered her work in the open studios of the Yale University, where she was in the photography program and graduated from Yale in 2009. So it's her third exhibition here. We had one in, I think, 2010, then we had one in 2016, now it's 2019. And so what the artist tries to do is, you see, there are some photographic works, there are some painting works here. So she tries to create a synthesis, not necessarily in one object, but she tries to create a relationship between photography and painting.
I see, it's spectacular, it's very cohesive.
Yeah, if you see how everything comes together, also the way the photographs are displayed, they're just put on the wall with pins, and then they are surrounded by a gray field which matches the pill shape of the colors. So if you look at everything together, it creates a certain atmosphere which speaks for the mind of the artist.
Oh, fabulous.
So I'm glad you like it.
Oh my God! Yes, I was. As soon as I walked in here, I said I need to interview the artist or the gallery owner about these wonderful pieces of art. Now, how many pieces are you displaying of her work here?
Oh, I actually haven't counted them yet, but if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 canvases, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 photographs. Photographs are black and white photographs. The canvases are in color, oil and also watercolor on canvas.
Just beautiful, beautiful pieces of art, really amazing. Now, tell my audience a little bit more about this gallery. How long have you had this gallery?
The gallery has been in existence since 1996, so quite some time. We opened first in Soho and then moved in 2000 to Chelsea. So we have been in Chelsea now. This is our second location for almost 20 years. The gallery shows a variety of artists. It's a classical gallery program, which means we represent a group of artists whose work we show continuously. We try to develop awareness of these artists, give the work exposure. And so some of the artists I'm working with, sometimes long-term already, are now in museums. There is one artist, she just has a major show in Germany, for example. We go, like other galleries, to art fairs, so we are on our way to Art Basel.
I was just going to ask you that. Are you going to Art Basel?
Yeah.
I went, my partner in crime over here, we went to Art Basel like 2 years ago. I had the most spectacular time. I really enjoyed the art.
Yeah.
It was just the most amazing art I've ever seen in my life. It was just spectacular. I wanted to go again this year, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. I'm renovating my kitchen, so that's why I'm not going.
Yeah.
But normally I would say, let's get the tickets, let's go, and let's see the art.
Yeah.
But unfortunately this year I'm not going to be able to go. But you are going.
Yes.
Tell my audience, come a little closer, tell my audience a little bit more about that, about your trip to Art Basel now, and who are the artists that you're featuring there at the show? Yeah,
so we actually have been going for now 10 years to Miami to art fairs. So we participated for 7 years in a row at the NADA Art Fair since 2009. And then since 2007 we were for the first time at the Art Basel at the major fair. And what we usually do is we go to the curated section, because some of our artists are not yet as known as some of the more famous artists in the field. So we go into areas of the fair where people are looking for names they might not have heard of, new art they want to discover. So we go there actually with a group of 3 artists. It's a curated selection of work. We bring Mike Cloud, who just had a show here, which was widely covered by the press. New York Times, for example, Hyperlogic, etc. The second artist is Harriet Corman, and the third artist, Donna Nelson, who was not in the last, but in the previous Whitney Biennial in 2014. So these are all artists who are already quite evolved in their careers. They have been in many shows. The price levels are already more elevated. So this, and the idea behind our selection of work is the question, is it possible at this time and day to still be formally inventive in painting? Because people say, oh, everything has been done, paintings have been slithered, paintings have been, put on the floor in the 70s, so everything has been done already. So is there yet...
That's what they say, but sometimes I wonder, has everything really been done? I think there are still things out there that have not been done.
Of course, I see it from a different perspective. It's like, our human consciousness, we as a society, we as a humanity, we evolve, right?
Absolutely.
And so there will be always different, so there is one constant. So if you look at art, if you look at great, like Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli. So there's a certain kind of thread of a certain thinking about art and quality level running throughout history, but then it's always actualized, so it's always basically brought up today by artists in their own time. If you think of Warhol, for example, and if you see a Warhol painting, you hang it beside, an old master, etc., there is something which goes through these works, which is like a common thread, but the works are very, very different in medium, in colors, in subject matter. So
it's always different. I mean, people always say, "Oh, he copied my style," or "He did something that," or "She did something that I do." But honestly, everybody has their own touch on something. Don't you agree?
That is correct. But what we are looking for is not little changes in touch. We look for major advancements, right?
Interesting.
Because if you look at the contemporary art scene right now, hundreds and thousands of artists exhibiting. In 10 years from now, 50 years from now, there will be another art scene with thousands of artists, and people will involved at that time in the then contemporaneous art scene, and then they pick only from the past what is really important for them in their present then. So there is something called.
I think sometimes people do these things because they think that's what sells. There are some artists that are like that.
Yes, but then question is, will they survive? We will still look at the work 5 or 10 years from now. So that's a big question then. Yeah.
Well, we are here to have longevity, and we are here to create the mind and to make people think, and that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it's about enjoyment. Art should be something which is pleasurable. It should invite you, but then it also should, lead you somewhere where you usually don't go. So it enriches you on an interior level. It enriches you on a level of experience.
Tell my audience, you are a fascinating person to talk to about art. Tell my audience, where can we go to learn more information about your gallery? What is the website?
Oh, it's very simple. It carries my name, thomaserben.com. I give you the spelling because it's a German name actually. So it's Thomas with an H. And then it's E-R as in Robert, B as in boy, E-N.com. thomaserben.com. One single.
German.
That is correct.
My husband's family is originally from Germany.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Fabulous people. Well, Thomas, it was always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Give
Most
me a kiss,
welcome.
darling.
Thank you for inviting me to talk to you.
Yes, and thank you for doing this wonderful interview. And we will be back with more interviews and more art. Keep watching, darlings. Pink champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Carton Gallery. And I'm here with a very significant artist who's showing his work here today, this evening. He's going to introduce himself to the camera.
I'm Ira Pearlstein, known on Instagram as Low Tide Art.
Low Tide Art.
No space.
No space. Tell my audience about this. This is an amazing piece of art. What is this all about?
Well, I collect my materials in Jamaica Bay, a portion of it known as Dead Horse Bay, and also on the streets of Brooklyn and Manhattan, and also in a couple of junkyards. And I found the larger parts of this piece one day about 6 months ago at low tide down at Dead Horse Bay. And I had an interesting little rock on which I had glued a marble earlier, and it occurred to me that this should be somebody sitting on a precipice in a cold, icy winter day, and I put this thing together. It needed a base, and about 2 weeks ago, I found in the dumpster that was down the block from my house a base from an old house, I guess. I mounted it on there, and I brought it in here. Here we are.
And here we are. Now, you must love this gallery. Do you show your work here all the time? This gallery?
I had a show last March and April. It was my first show here, and I had about 15 pieces in the room on the side known as the West Gallery, all assemblages that I make with pieces that I find all over New York.
You are truly, truly an artist, that you make all these different items, all these different artworks out of pieces that you just find on the street.
My supplies are very inexpensive.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now let me ask you, have you ever showed your work anywhere else besides this particular gallery?
I've showed my work in a small gallery in Brooklyn in Gowanus, and in the next block from my house is a parking garage with 8 cars, 8 motorcycles, and many bicycles. And they gave me this light blue painted wall in the front of there, and I have 23 of my larger pieces in there right now, and I take people in there by appointment. They just have to give me a call at 917-755-1659 or email me at irasharon, IRASHARON, at hotmail.com. And I will take them to the gallery and they can see my larger pieces. As a bonus, they can see all the stuff hanging all around my house that makes my wife crazy.
Oh my God. So you must be doing this for so many years.
Actually, I started a little less than 4 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I never made any art before. None.
But you always wanted to? How did this happen for you, with the art?
I went to the sculpture, Pablo Picasso sculpture show at the Museum of Modern Art a little less than 4 years ago. And I loved what he did with bicycle seats and bicycle handles. He turned them into cows and steers. And I said, he found this stuff on the street. He found all this garbage on the street, in Europe like 120 years ago. I'd like to do that too. So I went back to the sculpture show twice more, something I'd never done before, go to the same show 3 times. I was very inspired. I started going to look for stuff on the street, and by accident I started looking for stuff at low tide under the Manhattan Bridge in the East River. That's where I found my first stuff. Yeah.
How fascinating. You are fascinating. Fascinating.
Well, thank you very
Does
much.
your wife think you're fascinating?
She's very interested in this stuff. She wishes that I would get all that garbage out of the house. It's taking over.
Oh, it's hysterical. Tell my audience, if you want to learn more about you as an artist, do you have a website?
No website, just Instagram as Low Tide Art. Someday soon.
Low Tide Art, L-O-W Tide Art.
I'm also part of a new artist collective of retired guys that's starting up, which is called Erben. It's in memory of our friend Irv, who passed away 2 months ago. And Erben stands for Independent Retired Visual Artists. And we are hoping to have a group show sometime within the next 6 months. If you contact me, I'll tell you more about that, put you in touch with them, and give you the website.
Sounds wonderful. Well, thank you so much for doing that interview with me, and I hope you have some luck with this piece. It looks amazing. You're going to give me a kiss goodbye?
Thank you so much.
And we'll be back with more art. Keep watching, darlings. Big champagne kisses. Welcome back, darlings. I'm Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here at the Carter Art Gallery in Chelsea. And I'm here with this wonderful artist who has an amazing piece of art displayed here at the gallery. She's going to introduce herself to the camera.
My name is Bruckner. I'm an architect by training who's always been a fan of art. And once my kids grew up, I kind of thought now is the time to do what I want to do. And now is also the time to make statements about things that are going on in the world around us. So the piece that I have here at the gallery is a commentary on the climate crisis. I started out with making a cyanotype, which is a photogram method of creating an image that's blue, like a blueprint in architecture. And I created it with ice cubes melting on a glass surface, exposing it to the sun. And it started to develop into this kind of melted landscape, which of course immediately brought forth the narrative of the climate crisis that we find ourselves in the middle of.
It's scary, isn't it?
Super scary. And interestingly enough, the piece involved became something kind of pretty to look at, but it has an edge to it because it's circled by single-use plastic bags that are at the core of what's dragging us down, that are plugging up our oceans, that are drowning us. The piece is called We All Go Down Together, which is based on a song by the Decemberists. I have a QR code that's embedded at the bottom of my piece that people can scan with their cameras, and it will connect them to that song. That's called We Both Go Down Together, and that's where the title of the piece comes from. But it also kind of, it adds to the emotional component of the piece that, you know, you're looking at something that may be interesting, maybe intriguing, maybe it's even pretty, but what's actually happening to us is not that pretty. And the piece is round in order to sort of reflect back on this notion of human beings as the crown of creation and look at what we did. You know, we are supposedly the crown of creation, but we're bringing everything down and ourselves with it.
Now, what made you do this? What made you get involved in climate change? And what motivated you to get involved in all of this?
Well, I think it's just when you're an artist, you're constantly taking in what's happening around you. And while I'm working, I'm listening to music a lot and I'm listening to the news a lot. And I find that even if some subject matter doesn't literally present itself in my piece as what the title is about, it comes somehow back into the title, the things that I'm preoccupied with in my mind that are weighing me down, that are weighing other people down. And I have children, you know, and
you're concerned.
I'm concerned, and I'm
absolutely. I would feel the same way as you.
And any way that we can to, I think this is what artists can contribute to this. It doesn't have to be in your face. It doesn't have to be hitting somebody over the head with a sledgehammer, but it needs to constantly be out there to remind people that this is a serious problem.
Yes, and we need to bring awareness about it.
Right.
Now, tell my audience, where can we learn more about you as an artist? Do you have a website?
I do have a website. It's www.kbmatter.com, because KB are my initials.
How do you spell it?
It's KB for my initials.
K as in kitchen, B as in boy.
Yeah, M as in Mary, A as in Allen, T as in tiger, T as in tiger, E as in, what do we do with E? Ezra.
Yes, Eisenhower.
Eisenhower, and R like, Robert.com.
You are a joy to talk to, and your art is just beautiful.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk about this, and welcome to the Carter Burton Gallery.
Thank you, darling. We'll be back, darling, with more interviews right here in Chelsea at the art scene at this spectacular art crawl. Keep watching, more interviews coming up. Big champagne kisses.
Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac show. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm a bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. I was brought into this world wrapped up in pearls. I love to mingle, though my husband reminds me I'm not single. I meet and greet both the famous and the elite. I ride in limousines, drink drinking the finest champagne, wearing furs, dazzling diamond jewelry. A girl can't complain. I live the upscale life, dining in the finest restaurants, eating the best caviar for free. And no matter how much I enjoy cognac, ooh, ooh, I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh.
It's been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.